All right, we are live again, and one of my frames is not centered. Stay, damn it. So, three-part series of what anxiety is, where it comes from, and most importantly, the next video of how to end it completely in your life. That frame's going to bother me the whole time. 1 second. Stay. Thank you. My last video, what anxiety is, and I'll just talk about my definition so we can move on. I had to come up with my own definition while I was putting my 6-week online training program together, Anxiety Solution, Slow Your Mind Down to the Speed You're Living. My definition of anxiety is where you're physically at in the universe, where your mind is racing in the future. That gap is anxiety. You can never control the gap from here because, like Stuart Wilde says, it's etheric leaning. We're leaning, heart rate picks up, fight or flight. We need to get to the future to fix it. We made up this future event, and we're actually trying to fix it from this point. That's the definition of anxiety. This gap is the definition of anxiety. Now, where it comes from, the clues are in the gap. What I teach a lot of business owners is big vision, small vision. And, people say, well, we should predict, work on the future thoughts, future goals. Yes, of course. The trick is when we stay there too long, we try to control it. That's the difference. So we want to sit down and create future goals. Of course, we all want to move forward in our careers. But when you stay there too long, you're actually, the mind, when you have great ideas for the future and future goals, those are great to visualize, write down. I have a big whiteboard at my office at home, big vision. Oh yeah, that's my big vision. Then small vision. We have to come back down, see how the gap from anxiety, it comes back down so that all these models fit together. Big vision. Yes, future. We're not leaning, etherically leaning, trying to control the future. We're planning it out. Yes. Slow your mind down to the speed you're living. Control, reduce, and end. Back now to the present, small vision. It's the same definition I give of overwhelm. When overwhelm, we want to reframe as awesome. Overwhelm, it means we got a lot of choices. We have a lot of choices to choose from. That's positive. The reason it feels overwhelming is because we haven't picked one or two down and plucked it down and actually worked on it. Again, big vision, small vision. So overwhelm, we can reframe that as a lot of choices. This is awesome. The reason it feels overwhelming and we don't want to stay there because that's the out of balance part. It feels overwhelming because we haven't picked one or two and plucked it down in small vision right here and worked on it. So the key to ending anxiety, first, understanding the model, the definition of it, and then how do we control, reduce, and end? So it's the next video, I'm going to go into great detail about how to control, reduce, and end, but understanding how these models all work together. And when your mind is racing in the future, you have to analyze it, realize it right in the moment and say, wait a second. Yes, I'm visualizing the future. Yes, I'm planning this all out. I have a whiteboard over here. I got a whiteboard at home in my home office. Yes, we're planning all this out, but we can't stay there because the conscious mind you're listening with right now, the conscious mind is like a radar on a ship. Boop, 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 is looking for trouble. That's what your conscious mind is doing. It's protecting you. It's looking for trouble. That's part of its job. And when you understand boop, in between the boops, if there's no danger, because that's what your conscious mind does, looks for danger like a radar on a ship, we start to fill in the gaps in between the oops We start to fill in the gaps with what if. That's the dangerous part. When we do what if, we're out there too long. We're out in the future too long. When it's this is what I want to do with my life. How's it going to work? Oh, yep. No, no, no. You can't control the how. The universe controls the how. That's when you stay there too long and you get out of balance and try to control try to control that future. Etheric leaning, heart rate, fight or flight picks up. Slow your mind down to the speed you're living. Yes, we want future planning. Yes, we want to put it up. I suggest in a whiteboard like I have in my office, in my home office. Big goals, big vision. Small vision is all my little post-it notes. Small vision is what I'm working on. I have a couple pages of these that I'm just working on right now. My speaker page, my the online launch I'm doing. These are all very important, but slowing your mind down to the speed you're living, getting in control, and then sitting back. And after a day's work, after long hours of putting your work in, sit back again. I record my own visualizations. I do a guided meditation where I'm visualizing what my business is, what I want it to go to. I'll sit in the corner of my office here, put on my headphones, visualize what I want my future to look like. Then I get back to work. So remember, big vision, small vision. So what anxiety is the gap. This gap, where you're physically at in the universe, where your mind is racing in the future, most likely with negative thoughts because we stayed there too long. So the mind starts to fill in the gaps with, yeah, but what if? What if it doesn't work? What? We stayed there too long. Control, reduce, and end. Get back to center, get back to the small vision, get back to work. This is how we slow the mind down to the speed we're living. That's how we get rid of anxiety. I'll go in more detail on how to get rid of anxiety, specifically with the fork in the road technique in the next video. But that gap is anxiety. Where it comes from is staying there too long. Staying there too long. Etheric leaning. I'm fight or flight. I'm racing, trying to get to the future. Same definition of anxiety is the same definition of where it comes from. We stay there too long. Slow your mind down to the speed you're living. Get back to center. Next video, fork in the road technique is something I designed because I've been through extreme anxiety. And I came out the other end and I put this whole system together. It's a whole complete 6-week online course. If you're interested in that, let me know. It's online, it's digital. I've had so many clients just watch the digital stuff and just do the meditations and get rid of anxiety. I have testimonials on that. This is what I do one-on-one with clients also. I give them the online course while I'm working with them one-on-one. So what anxiety is, that gap, where it comes from, trying to control the gap. From here, we cannot. How do we stop it? Fork in the road technique we'll go over next time. So fork in the road we'll go over. If you need this help, reach out. I have a free meditation you could start with on my website, globalmindstretch.com, globalmindstretch.com. There's a free meditation. I call it Introduction to Anxiety Solution. The first 5 minutes kind of speaking a little more about what it is and what you're going to expect to go through. Most of my recorded stuff is just straight into the meditation. This one, there's about 5 minutes in the beginning of explaining. If this is new to you, it's going to be very helpful because I explain what you're going to experience, how you're going to slow your mind down. And then after a couple of times of listening, if you get the online meditation, then skip right to the 5 minutes and go right into the meditation. But it's my free gift to you, Introduction to Anxiety Solution. Go to my website, globalmindstretch.com, get the free meditation. And then next video, I'll explain fork in the road and how we really end anxiety.